The 2-year acting program with the Maggie Flanigan Studio provides actors with the tools, experience, and foundation that they need to become professional actors. Tayler Hamilton talks about the decision to train professionally, why she thinks actors need to train, and her experience this year training with the studio remotely.
I really thought that acting was just kind of memorizing lines and doing your scene and just kind of taking your lines and your character and just doing it how, you would do it as a person. I didn't need to train. I had some performing arts experience from growing up, and I danced a lot, and I did, theater when I was a kid and in high school and stuff, but I never had formal training. And I was like, well, I don't think I really need that, which looking back was such a joke, because it's so important to have the training and the foundations, because you really can fall back on that when you're scared and when you have a new scene and you don't know really what to do with it. That you can say to yourself, at least for me now, I can say, okay, I trained for a little over 2 years for this. I do know what I'm doing, and I am confident, and I can speak to other actors and other industry professionals in a way that makes me sound like I know what I'm doing. Whereas before I didn't have that. So I think what it means to train as an actor is you have to give what Charlie and Karen and, Maggie taught me was you have to give your heart and your soul and your life to putting in the work, to training, to becoming an artist. And that takes a lot. It takes a lot of self-work and a lot of looking inside yourself. And I had never done that before, and it completely changed my life. I don't think I ever listened to my scene partner ever before I got to Maggie. I would be thinking about what I was supposed to do. Oh my God, I have to do this next thing next. And I feel like I look strange. And I was so concerned about what was going on with me. And I didn't listen or take in anything from the other person. So first year, that was huge for me. And I learned so much about taking things personally and standing up for yourself, which was another big thing from first year, is really finding your point of view as a person. What do you care about? What makes you tick? What makes you happy? What makes you angry? What gets you going? What fires you up? And I didn't know that before. And it's so important to know as an actor, because you have to relate all that to your work. Second year, I learned just so much about discipline and the amount of work that really goes into working on a very large part with complex depth. And, I have an immense new respect for the actors that do such work and that are so good at it, because it's now I know how much work they put into it, how detailed you have to be and how specific you have to be in crafting these things. I think I learned that I have a lot of emotional depth that I didn't think that I had. I didn't know that I had that. I didn't know what made me so up. In first year, you learn about these things that make you feel a certain way. And I think going through life, I had inklings of that, but I never really got to express that and say it out loud. But first year, you're able to truly express how you feel about anything. You can say anything you want. And that was surprising to me, to hear the things that would come out of my mouth about how I felt about a person, about how I felt about a situation or circumstance. And it's helped me to know more who I am now in my life and what kind of an actor I want to be and how I'm going to be portrayed. The supplementary classes are incredible. I think you have to take the supplementary classes to get the most out of your acting work. For instance, movement and voice. I think everyone should take movement and voice, because they just go alongside you have to know what works with your body, and you have to know how to change your voice and how to manipulate your voice and how to warm up your voice for when you're about to perform on stage or on camera. Every actor has to know their body. As actors, our body is our instrument, you have to know you have to train that. So yeah, of course you need the acting training, but you also need the movement work and the voice work. who wants to do a scene on Zoom? Like, it's, as an actor, you're, especially Meisner, you literally are trained to work off of what the other person is doing. And you can't even see, you just see their face over Zoom. So that was challenging, but I believe that if we can do this on Zoom, we can do it anywhere. I don't think Charlie would lower his standards ever. I think his standards are very highly set, and they have always been and always will be. So no, he did not lower his standards. I was frustrated every class. I was like, I can't do this. I can't. In my head, I was like, I can't do this anymore. But I pushed through, and I did it, and it felt great to finish that. If Charlie lowered his bar, what would that do for me? He has a really high bar. And I don't think if I walked into his class in the fall semester, if he had less of a bar, I don't know if I would have gotten as much out of this or even finished it. He really pushes you. He pushes you really hard. And if you're training as an actor, you want to be pushed by someone who really cares about you, who sees potential in you. But Charlie takes the time to do that, and he shows you that you can do that. And then you come out of there and you're like, I literally have done so much. I've done this kind of thing. I've done this. So I know that I can access that for myself now. So he gives you those tools. When I first met with Charlie, I was like, 2 years. Oh my God, it's so long. Like, that's a really long time. Like, I was 24, 25 at the time. I was like, I'm getting old. Charlie was like, okay. So 2 years went by like this. Going to school was like absolutely the best decision I've ever made for myself, for my career, and for my life. It's the best thing I've ever done. And if I recommend to anyone who does want to be a serious actor, like, you got to train. If you're meant to be doing this, your time will come, and you're going to have to have that training to like back that up. I'm just excited to get a script and like work on it in the way that I know how now, and like a way that what I was saying earlier is like what all the great actors can do is take a part and make it my own, but really connect with the character and make it a piece that people really want to watch. And I'm excited for the journey. I think this life is a marathon and it's not a sprint, and I think I'm excited to see what comes my way and what I can do. And I'm so confident now that I've finished this training here, I can do anything. So I'm super grateful and happy about that.
Learn more about the online acting training and the 2-year acting program by visiting the acting programs page on the studio website and by reading online reviews about the acting classes. Students with enrollment questions can call 917-789-1599.